So once again, my name is Olugbenga Shobande. I'm a certified business analyst professional. I also have a project management professional certification. I'm also a certified Scrum Master. I have a certification in discipline Agile as well as SAFe. So today I titled this business analysis made easy because we want to simplify the process. According to International Institute of Business Analysis, that is IIBA, the global body that set the acceptable global standard for business analysis professional. In their book, Business Analysis Body of Knowledge, BABOK, the most recent version, version 3, defines business analysis as the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. I just want to give us a kind of a better understanding of this definition. 6 points were highlighted there, talking about the change, enterprise, needs, solution, value, and stakeholders. In everything we do as a BA, we go with this. Number one, as a BA, you must be somebody that you are not comfortable with status quo. You want change because things can always be do better. There is a better way we can do whatever we are doing. And that is why every organization keeps hiring business analysts. Sorry, I'm getting some distraction somewhere. So we have to be somebody that always wants change, positive changes. And we're doing that, we're enabling this change in an enterprise, a business, a government body, a non-profitable organization, depending on different domains, different industries, banking, the military, the healthcare sector, the public sector, the financial institute, retail, manufacturing, the airspace, everywhere we have a business analyst. And what do we help them to do? We help them to define their needs. Every business, they have a need or they have needs. But one thing is that needs could be an opportunity or a problem to solve. So as a BA, you help your company or your client, depending on the area. If you are working as a consultant, you will be calling the people that you are dealing with as clients. You are helping them to understand their needs. Is this a problem or an opportunity? Then you will now recommend solution or solutions. But this, your solution must deliver value to stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people, either a person or group of people that could affect or be affected by your solution. So whenever you are working on an initiative or you are working on a project, what you should have at the back of your mind is that this must deliver value to my stakeholders. We're going to touch on stakeholders as we continue today. So, in a nutshell, business analysis enables an enterprise to articulate needs and the rationale for change and to design and describe solutions that deliver value. So, everything about this business analysis is we want to understand the needs, then we recommend solutions. And this, our solution must deliver value to stakeholder. And how will you even do that if you don't understand your stakeholder? If you don't understand even the stakeholders' needs? So to deliver value, to meet their expectation, you must know their expectation. That is the first step. Now, who is a BA? Who is a business analyst? We wear a lot of different caps as a BA. Nowadays, many organizations or many companies, they want BA to have a lot of skills. They want you to be able to do so many things. And that is why we are very vital in any organization we're working. So some people call us the middleman between the business and the IT. Some people call us change agents because we drive change. Some call us strategists, business strategists. Yes, anything you talk about it, that is what we have. So we play a role in aligning the design and deliver solution with the needs of stakeholder. Well, part of the things we do is, number one, we understand their needs. We understand their goals and their objectives. Secondly, you analyze it. like I said, we have problem and opportunity. Problem in the sense that this complaint or this business, what they are experiencing now, it has become something that is totally working contrary to their goals and objective. That is a problem. Maybe they are losing money. Their profit margin is going down, or they are losing customer, or they are losing that leadership among their competitors. That becomes a problem, and that will require a tactical approach. But an opportunity, yeah, you are doing fine. What you are working on, you are meeting your goals, and you are doing very well. But please, if you are not talking, can you please just mute yourself? I may have to mute everybody from here. So opportunity is like, okay, we're doing this thing, but what can we do how can we improve on this? Oh, there is new technology that we can leverage on that will keep us, multiply our profit, that can make us to be at the edge, to be the market leader in our domain. That is an opportunity. So BA will help organizations to analyze that. Then you devise strategy. How do we go about it? How do we achieve it? Every business, they have their goals, they have their objectives, but we help them how to achieve those goals and objectives. We drive change. We are not just comfortable with, the way we are doing it, we continue like that. No, that is why you see the way technology is going fast. And we also facilitate stakeholders collaboration, bringing people from different business units, bringing them together, working together, and be on the same page. So a business analyst, you may be performing diverse tasks, and yet they may not call you business analyst. Among the names that you may, or let me say the job title you may see out there if you are looking for a job, but when you check the tasks, you discover that these are the things you can do. Business architect, business system analyst, data analyst. So many. Please, can you mute? Minutes. Sorry, I can see many people are talking, so okay. Thank you, everybody. Just remain muted. If you need to talk, yeah, you will be given the opportunity to talk. Data analyst, though there are some areas in data that you might not be able, except you have the skill, you might not be able to perform that role. Enterprise analyst, requirements engineer, management consultant, process analyst, product manager, product owner, system analyst. Some will even call you subject matter experts and all of that. But when you check what are the responsibilities, what is expected of me in all of this role, you may find yourself that you are performing this. Again, your job nomenclature might not be listed here, but let me tell you, if you are interacting with stakeholders, you are helping them to understand their needs and helping them to resolve those, to provide solutions. You are already performing business analysis, and you can call yourself a business analyst. A lot of people at times will ask like, oh, as a BA, I need to have a IT knowledge. Yeah, you do, because if you are interacting with system, that is information technology. You deal with data that you get from system. So it's not like until you know how to code. If you know how to code, that is a plus for you. If you don't know how to code, it's not a problem. But you must have these underlying competencies. These are skills that is expected of you as a BA. To be a successful business analyst, you must have analytical thinking and problem solving skills. You must be able to think through. Please give me 1 minute, please. I think I need help of assistance of someone. Yeah. Okay. So you must be able to think, analyze situation, analyze a business case, and come up with suggested solutions. Again, behavioral characteristics, talking about self-organization, time management, have a very, very, very strong work ethic, be diligent. That is very important. These are soft skills, right? Business knowledge. I said something about as a BA, you keep learning. Yeah, business knowledge. You must have knowledge of the business area you are working on. You may start your career as an accountant, and now you are transitioning into business analysis. Let me tell you, if you get in a job in that role, you will bring your previous experience and knowledge to that role, but you may need to understand that business properly. We have people that they are HR business analysts. If I have worked on HR solutions, and I have never been an HR in my life, but what I did was to learn all the process, the human resources processes, from hiring, onboarding, payroll, and all of that, so that I was able to function very well. So you need business knowledge. Currently, I'm working with an healthcare organization. I don't know anything about health previously, but I have to learn. I need that business knowledge. If I'm going to work in insurance, I will do the same thing. I will need to research and understand their processes. And you know what makes most of these things very good, easy for us is that we are, one way or the other, we interact with most of these businesses. After all, I go to hospital, I book appointment with my doctors, so I know the flow. I use insurance. I have insurance, life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, and I know the process when you want to claim you want to submit claim or you have any issue. I am a customer to my bank, and I'm using banking application, interacting with different banking solutions. So that is where the knowledge will start. But I want to know further. So business knowledge is very important. Communication skill, that is very, very important. Both verbal and written communication skill. I must tell you, you are going to be having a lot of meetings and you'll become communicating with people.
Headphone, that pink one.
Please mute yourself, Amalara. So interaction, yeah, like what I'm doing now, you facilitate. You are going to be facilitating a lot of meetings. You must have negotiation skill, how you can negotiate between stakeholders. Let them see the reason why we have to prioritize a particular requirement of one department over the other department. You interact with people. You must have that people skill, how you work with different people. Sorry. I want somebody. Okay. So please, Alainka, I made you a post. You can help me control that and also be checking the chat so that I can help me control people that didn't. She muted me as well. Thank you. Then tools and technology. Yeah, that is one area that you must learn. That one may be a bit challenging because it's maybe outside of your comfort zone. And please don't be afraid to do it. If you are using system today, I can tell you many of the tools we use, there are things that you can easily use. I do call them like a click, drag, and drop. If you can use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, I know many people may find that a bit difficult. PowerPoint, Outlook, you use Outlook to manage your calendar, your email, and organize your tasks. Yeah. If you can use any of those, I believe you can use almost any other tools we use. All you need is learn. Ready to learn. Ready to learn. As a BA, you don't stop learning. You keep learning. So ready to learn. So these are skills that you need to bring on board. And if you already have these skills, yeah, you are good to go. So this diagram just representing what I've talked about before. Now, let's go into needs assessment. A need, every business do have a need because they set up that business for a particular reason. So they have their goals or their objectives. We know primarily most businesses is to make profits, but going beyond that, they have something more to that. But when they were not able to satisfy their goals and objectives, that becomes a need. Though this concept looks so simple, but this can be very, 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 very difficult at times. Because most of the time, what the business will tell you they need is not actually what they need. Many a times they will be telling you the solution instead of telling you their needs. So as a BA, one of the things you must have when I talk about communication skill is listening as well. You must be someone that's ready to listen to your stakeholders. Try to understand their pain points. Try to understand how you can provide help to them. So this is one thing that we do as a BA. And how do you go about it? We analyze the current business problem. Or is there an opportunity? That is, we want to understand their current processes. We call it current states. Or as is, ASIS, as is. What is it that you are having now? What are you doing now? How are things working? What are your processes? BA must first of all understand this. I'm telling you, this area that I'm teaching you, I have heard people a lot in an interview, and they will come back to me and talk about it. I think very, very, very recently, somebody told me, they asked him, oh, how do you understand, how do you understand the needs of the business? How do you assess the need of the business if you are hired as a BA? Yeah, you must first of all understand their current state, because the current state will give you better information of what is working and not working. And with that, it will now help you to be able now to think of the future state, where they want to be, where the organization wants to go, because you are looking at it from their goal. You are weighing that thing. Okay, this is the goal of this organization, but now they have these challenges. They were not able to satisfy it. So they want to reach their goal, which we call the future state. But before you go into it, you need to understand we have two types of need. The first one is business needs. The business need, the business as a whole, they have goals, they have objectives. And they want all these things to run so that they're able to achieve it. They want to make profit, they want to be effective, they want their customers to be happy. That is their goal. But on the second hand is what? The stakeholders' needs. It's very close by, but the stakeholder needs, it's basically what do I need as a stakeholder, a specific stakeholder to support the business to achieve their goal. This looks very similar when we're talking about requirements. You know, we have the business requirements and we also have a stakeholder requirements. So it's just like this is what the business is looking for, but every stakeholder also have what they need to do to achieve it. For example, if, let me paint a scenario here now. Complaint XYZ, they are into retail, a retail business, and they are doing fine and they are expanding. Now, their growth goes beyond their locality. People come from nearby and far away to buy things there. So they started like having online presence after they opened some branches. So they do have online presence because they started going international. And now you are working in that organization as a business analyst. Remember, like I said, you can work in any company. Every organization, they are looking for BA now. They have BAs. I've worked in a retail company. The first company I worked in Canada is a retail company, the biggest one in Canada. So now they now hire this issue now because their online presence is not really meeting the needs of their customers. The customers, maybe they're having challenges in making, ordering online, or even when they all order, they cannot even access their the product they order, they can't track it and all of that. When they have you on board as a BA to come and look into this, you must first of all understand the process, the current state process. So when you know that, then you go with the needs. Okay, this is the business needs. Now, every stakeholder, I'm going to talk more about stakeholder. Talking about stakeholder, your customer, they are part of your stakeholders. The picture I put on here, we have internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. And this depends, it all depends on, and it's also differ from business to business, from industry to industry, and projects to projects. So you have different stakeholders. So you need to understand the needs of each stakeholders. How do you want us to solve your own personal problem? Customers will have their own. The back end users from the business, they will have their own too. And that is where BA will listen to everybody and help them analyze it, bring it together, and suggest solution. Let's move. I've talked about this before, identifying problem and opportunities. So this is one of the things we perform during these assessments. You must be able to analyze that need to understand if it's a problem or it's an opportunity. So if it's a problem, the approach is going to be reactive because we are already in mess. We are not enjoying what we have now. So the approach is going to be reactive. We have to look backward. What are we doing that we're not doing fine? What are the things we need to improve on? Then the approach again is tactical. And it is very, 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 very urgent. But if it is opportunity, that is proactive. Like I said, things are working well. We're meeting our goals, but we look at it that we can do better. We can do more than where we have. We can leverage on so many things, maybe there is legislation, new law, maybe there is new technology. These are things that we can take advantage of. So it is proactive. I used to say it before COVID, the company that I was working then, we have been working from home before COVID. So though a kind of like hybrid. So if you want to go to office, you go. If you want to work from home, you work from home. So when COVID happened, why some businesses were shut down, they closed and all of that, even including the government organization in Canada, everybody. My company, we're working. Just came back home with your laptop and we continue. The business just keep going. And so good for us. It's a retail company. So when you're talking about frontliners, we are there because stores must open for people to have food. So they are very proactive in their approach. At that time, the opportunity we leverage on cybersecurity. While others were looking for how to solve, they are reacting to that issue that time. No, my company were just proactive. Like now, we have the system already. But what will be the next challenges that we could have? It will be cybersecurity problem. So we just improve on our cybersecurity so people can work from home. And we know that our data, our information are safe. So that is opportunity. If the business leaders already have that foresight, like let's leverage on this. If for some of us that were in Canada, you remember that time, Canada Revenue Agency, they had problem. There are so many compromise with people's accounts from their end, and that was when there was a time they shut down the website. You can't access your information. Then later, when they open it, they introduce Is it multi-way account verification? That's a two-factor password, login details, bringing up, trying to do all this. But they are reactive because that was actually a problem for them. Why some organizations, they just quickly leverage on the opportunity. That time you see many restaurants, they also closed down. However, for us in Canada, those of us in Canada, Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, DoorDash, those guys were making money, though they don't have any restaurants. But the restaurant themselves don't have any technology per se to connect with their customers. But Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, DoorDash, they leverage on that, but they have created those applications before that time, and they are making more money. So you must understand this need, is it a problem or an opportunity? We don't need to wait till there is a problem before we help organization to move forward as a business analyst. That is why we are called strategists. Okay, gap analysis. I touched on gap analysis already. It's identifying the needed capabilities, assessing the current capabilities. What is our strength? What are the things we are very, very good on? Then why is it that this thing is not really helping us to meet our expected goal? So including this, you have to do a lot of things. Now, I must mention in business analysis, we use techniques. In the layman language, we can call it anything. But I want to encourage you, especially those that are working in this part or you are trying to transition this, if you go for interview, make sure you are using those terminologies, like brainstorming, job shadowing, interview, requirements gathering workshop, requirement elicitation. They are very important because your interviewer will know that you have understanding of what you are saying. So understanding current state, you need to perform some tasks and you use certain techniques. One of them is job shadowing. If I want to understand your current process, what you are working on, for example, now, how do you resolve customers' issue? Number one, I must know who is going to be my stakeholder that I need to work with. So definitely, let's say the customer service representative. And this customer service representative, I want to help him or her with whatever he is doing or she is doing. I first of all need to understand the current state. What is your process like? So job shadowing also could be active or passive. The person is working and I'm watching, just observing how the person is doing it. Why am I doing that? I want to understand everything. Because while doing that, I will be able to find out what could be the problem. So I can be active, that is, I was also working on it, or passive. While doing it, you'll be documenting. Another one, it is what we call document analysis. Document analysis is you're requested for existing documentation for that process. And you go through it, you walk through those documents for you to understand the step-by-step of how things are being done. So this gives you insight into what is happening currently. You can also use interview. Invite one or two people, or people like we call them subject matter experts. These are people that have a very good understanding of that process. So you invite them and you have that interview session with them, one-on-one interview session with them. So when you identify that, now that will help you to see the gap between the now and the then. That's between the now and the future. Our desired future is we want our customers to be happy. We want it that when customers have any issue, any problem, once they call or contact us, we want the issue to be resolved within 5 minutes. How many of you have experienced you are calling customer line And when you called, you are on hold for like 40 minutes, 1 hour. Have you experienced that before? I believe some of us must have experienced that. It's even worse in Nigeria. If they are going to charge you, it's good if it is free when you call. But if they are going to charge you, oh my God, that would be terrible. But the truth is this, you are not happy with that situation. The insurance company, our insurance provider, my company's insurance provider, very big, with a big name in Canada here. Before now, because the last 2 times I had something to do with them, I think they've improved. Number one, their application is horrible. Number two, their customer service. Oh, you want to cry. You may be on the call for 1 hour. At the end of the day, that call may drop. Then you will have to start all over again. And they asked me to give review. Jesus is Lord. I finished them. I tell them about everything, how I am so frustrated with their processes. But good thing, now they are better. In fact, the last time I submitted my claim, like within 2 days, I got the money in my account, like, wow, this is good. And it was very, very easy for me to also submit my claim online. Now, using that as an example, when they get all these complaints from their customers, that means they started having problems, because it means we customer will begin to leave them to their competitors. And when they are losing customer, they will be losing money. So they need to first of all understand their current state, and then they will begin to propose solution. Can somebody propose a solution to that scenario? How do you think you can fix customer service problem when people call and they stay 1 hour on the call? If you know, just unmute yourself quickly and chip in idea. Anyone? Yeah, please go ahead. I see 2 people raise up their hand. Yeah, Bolanle, you can first speak. Unmute yourself, please. Can you please let her? Okay, wait, I'll do that. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself now, Bolanle.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think the company should get more workers in this kind of scenario. Although it's going to cost them more, but I think that's going to go a long way.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Okay, let me allow Omadi. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it well. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Omada.
Okay, Omada.
I would say for me,
mine is not even the mine
There
is
is
just my
no-
concern is just
background
weather
noise
now.
there.
You understand? You want to start from inside, yes, and before coming out. That's the only thing.
can I go
Okay,
on?
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I would say it's more like if the business is able to improve their website so that customers can do like self-service instead of having to call in every time.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. We have Yetunde. Can you unmute yourself, Yetunde?
Yes, my response is somewhat similar to that. Have an automated response self-service system so that most people can sort of triage themselves and sort out their issues, and then only the most complex issues can now be referred to.
So 2 things for Monday that you've got the not.
Let me mute everybody. I can see some people are making noise under there. Okay. Let me see which other hand is there. Okay, we have Love B. You can unmute yourself. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Instead of saying on the queue for an hour, they could also automate their system where they can ask for a callback. So the representative could give the customer a callback at a more suitable time.
Awesome. Okay. Ademidun, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Basically, most people have kind of touched on the subject and just making reference to what you've already said. Understanding what was currently obtainable, right? As well as looking for opportunities for automation during the course. So it can go from maybe introducing chat functions that people can actually like reach out to, or even finding automated, like frequently used tools that can be automated, or even hiring more people, or even upgrade of this current system, maybe having building out its capacity to attend to more people or to process more transactions. So just looking for ways to improve, basically. That's my own feedback.
Awesome. Thank you. Olaolu, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, so in addition to what others have said, we have to look at it from a place where they have to spend the minimal amount of money in the first place. So I'll be looking at it from an angle where they try to look for the main issues, why they have so much people calling for issues. What are those issues being resolved? What are those issues customers are calling in for? How can those issues be taken away from the system where customers won't even have those issues? So by that, they can even reduce the amount of calls that come in, so they probably don't have to employ more call center agents.
That's just demonstrated critical thinking skill. Now, everything you said now, we call it one name in business analysis. Do you know it? There is a name we call it, Want to know why people are even calling? Why are you receiving so much calls like that? Can anybody help? When you engage such, okay, I will tell us later. That was Olaolu that spoke, right? So I think Ifeola, you can unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Like people have said, introducing chat system, the quality of the customer service is very important. Not just the quantity, not just employing more people. What are they doing? You can employ people if you think that the people they are not enough. Employ people that will do some different things that will also help them, like responding to emails, chatting with people, like, and the likes. That's what I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, Lara, unmute yourself.
Okay. It's a combination or accumulation of what everybody has said. I'd say, first of all, a situation analysis has to be done and some sort of root cause analysis to understand, first of all, the demography of the customers, and also some sort of focus group sessions to understand how best to serve these different groups of customers. Now, depending on the demography, depending on the service they are providing and the demography, we might assume that providing how do you call it, automated services might serve them better, but the service being provided by the company requires a personal touch, then they would have to call in. So depending on that, it will determine what solution or what solution to adopt. One of the solutions I would prefer is some sort of implementation of a CRM type system, and a call center IVR system that helps to queue up the calls if the demography is very people oriented or people based. The service has to be a human touch. Provision also of like on the CRM system, having to see maybe the agent is able to see like the log of calls that have been coming in from that particular customer, so they already know the precedents and the customer doesn't have to spend so much time on the phone. Also implementing some sort of callback service where a customer can be called back after a period of time. So you already know, oh, your wait time is 50 minutes and you would receive a call after 50 minutes to be served. In the situation whereby the demography is maybe much younger and they rather do self-service, very many self-service options also through their automate or through their digital channels, and a standard FAQ of typical problems and how people can solve them themselves. But overall, I think the organization should be gunning for some sort of omni-channel service through to deliver whatever it is that they are selling.
Lara, are you a CRM expert? The way you are talking, it shows you are a subject matter expert in that field, mentioning omni-channel and all of that. Thank you. That was a very wonderful one. You know what is called CRM, people? Customer Relationship Management System. Okay, let's give Sheung. You can unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay.
I want to start from the question that is being asked about what they call that in business analysis. I think if I'm right, I think that can be considered to be under trend analysis when we are looking for root cause of a particular problem. Trend analysis and root cause analysis. Under that. And to the question, I just want to bring a addition to what have been said in this light, because I believe it's not about when there is a problem, it's not about adding to the people that we already have employed that can bring a solution. What if the problem is a people problem? That will add to what the problem happened to be before. So in a situation where we need to automate also, we need to go into categorization of different query or inquiry that is coming in order to know the kind of voice that need to be programmed onto the AI in order to respond to the request of the people. Having said that, once we know the categorization of what the problem is, then we can now channel it. Are we going on AI to reduce the number of time which the customer is spending to wait on the line before they can get the customer support from customer service? And if it's not related to that, if it's something about quality assurance, then we know that we can go on to question, if your question is A or B, select this. If you need to speak with human, then you'll be directed straight away onto the human being to respond to you. And if you need to have in-office attention, then maybe you might be given also that kind of slots where you might go on video call with whoever that is supporting you at that point in time. And that is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, successful. Successful now, you can unmute yourself.
Yes. Please, can you hear me?
Very well, loud and clear.
Yes, what I think in the matter is that we all know that people have different issues in customer care service, as in they give out different complaints. So I just think maybe if they can categorize each complaints, maybe, you know, complaints are much bigger than each others, as in, I don't know how to put that. as in there are different complaints that people used to make, and some are just some things you can really answer in just a little time, and there are some that they are very in a long it is a long time period of question of I don't know how to put my,
like maybe it can consume more time, taking much time from the
yes.
agent that is attending to the situation. Okay. All right, thank you. Blessing.
Thank you very much. I just want to add to what everyone has said, and I'm speaking specifically to the question you asked about what's this process called in terms of business analysis. So I'm going to say it has to do with elicitation, requirements elicitation. This is where we begin to define what exactly are the requirements that we would need to resolve for the business. This is where everything everybody has said comes in when we're doing requirements elicitation. Thank you.
Thank you. Derogba.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Actually, I lost connection at one point, but on coming back, I think I could speak to the question as well. The last speaker mentioned the elicitation, which I think I want to agree with the person. But one point came to mind because I had an experience about a few days ago where I noted that many banks in Nigeria have been able to remove the option of speaking directly to the operator, which is almost very much preferred to people that have unusual problems. So I think one of the things that the BA needs to do in terms of elicitation is to take the customer more seriously as one of the first key stakeholders to speak with, and likewise the employees themselves. But all in all, the main point I want to pick here is that since the customer is the one who wants to delight and is the one that is going to be paying or bringing in the profit via his transactions, I think we must focus on eliciting from the customer also as maybe one of our number one points. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Lara, is the same Lara again?
Yes. So I was just thinking through the question again, and one thing to put out there is a lot of times as business analysts, product owners, product managers, it's very easy for us to try to solve the seen problem. And there just might be an unseen problem, aka the product itself. So if they, at the point where you have elicited requirements, had interviews, had focus group sessions, looked at current state documentation, I think it's just also key to categorize all the problems, the different problems, customer problems that are coming through, and look at, conduct some sort of gap analysis to link it back to the original product that is being sold. And it just might mean maybe changing the user interface, making it simpler for users to reduce the calls that are going to come to the call center in the first place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. I really love those conversation. I can also see some conversation going on the chat. I allow this because I want people, I know we have people that are already practicing here. We have people that also have a knowledge in this business analysis. Okay, let me allow this person last. Adeola, please.
Hello, hello everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, or wherever you are, according to the time of the day. Yes, like I was just chatting a friend behind the scene, based on what Lara just said now. I think the first thing is we have to actually understand the nature of the business that we are into. And if calls have been coming in and perhaps support have been responding to such calls, that will bring me or channel those calls to what we call the FAQ, has frequently asked questions. So by so doing, that also allows us to be able to categorize most of the calls that comes in into different catalogs. And by so doing, if there is if need be, we can probably, kind of rely on AI implementation, categorizing those FAQ questions into catalogs. Some might probably call for one information or the other, not necessarily a problem that requires support intervention. When I say support intervention, I mean people intervention, right? By so doing, whatever questions or whatever answers they are meant for few questions or responses should also be programmed on the kind of response facilities that they have, so that you don't really have to keep people in queue for so long. In fact, in itself, having people to queue for a very long time because they need one information or the other, it's even business. If we analyzing the business itself, because why? When somebody calls in and he or she is spending 40-50 minutes just because he or she needs to resolve an issue is having, I think it is also imperative for such company to also look into that timing and see how it can be improved in itself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's allow Olu to talk last on this so that we can move on. Olu, you have the mic.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. What I would say, most people have said, basically everything, but when it comes to some particular issues that the company knows that practically everyone is having, what I would suggest is something like a user manual on their website with detailed instructions, probably with some images, to make things really, really easy for people. And once they're able to resolve their issues using such documentations, the number of people calling in will be drastically reduced, except if for some strange reason, their issue is not captured on whatever you have on the website, then they might be able to call in. That's apart from the emails and the chat options. And maybe even when they call in, there might be some automated guides to tell you what to do to resolve your issue. And then if you're still hitting a roadblock, then you can be directed to speak with a live agent. That's just going to be my suggestion.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I love it when I'm hearing those kind of words, roadblock. They are hot terminologies we use. Awesome. Yeah. I like it. I love the conversation. I love everyone's contribution. Yeah. And please, I want us to also, be enjoying this. Let me tell you one trick. When I was also transitioning to business analysis, I do attend a lot of webinars. I did paid training, and if I see free one as well, I attend it. Even ordinary 1 hour webinar, you will see me there. I want to hear people's story. And that really helped me when I was developing my own stories as well. Because like I told you, if you are looking for a job now, you're not going to be saying, no, it must be a bank. You just want it anywhere, even if they say it is healthcare, you just want to get the job. And how do you develop story that will go in line with that domain? It is when you hear from other people's experience, and you can use that also to talk through that during your interview. Interview is always talking, but now I could see so many places now they want you to be doing as well. So that's why we need to really empower ourselves before we go out there, start looking for job. Yeah, wonderful contribution. And truly as a team, this is how we work. You'll be working with other people in your project team, and you may be having that kind of a brainstorming session whereby you are going to be generating different ideas, coming up with these different ideas, everybody. And one thing you must know is no idea, it is rubbish. We welcome everybody's idea. Then we are now going to analyze it. Let's look at what this person says, this other person says, this other person says. Then we look at it holistically from the project point of view and based on our goal. Then we begin to suggest different solutions. Now, as BA, it is not just only one solution you want to suggest. You want to give them different solutions based on the problem at hand. So you may see some people will talk about training, some people will talk about automation and all of that. But I want to tell you that, as you said, it's very important to carry out root cause analysis. Very, 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 very important. And that you get into it, while you are doing your elicitation. Just want to know why are they calling? Why do we have so much calls? Is it the problem with the application, or is it the problem with system, or is it even the problem with the people? So that we know the type of solution we want to propose. And it's very important when you talk about understanding your customers based on their demographic. And that's where we use these techniques we call focus group, selecting, just identifying some customer. You may use a questionnaire and survey to get their input, and that will help us. So as a BA, when we understand the current state, which is very, very key, that helps us now to talk about define the future state. And when you are giving this to the business, that is what we call business case. You develop that as a document, you develop the business case, whereby you are going to highlight your suggested solution. Probably you will rank them as well, and trying to convince stakeholders to buy into those, especially the one you recommend. So trying to convince them to buy into those that solution. And if the stakeholders, they are okay with it, yeah, you get it. And from there, you get into your requirement elicitation properly. Okay, let's move on before we give room for questions. Yeah, I actually want to use like 1 hour, 30 minutes, but at most 2 hours. Now, stakeholder management. This is also very key. When you are talking about needs assessment, you must know your stakeholders, because that is what will help you to understand the right people to meet for questions, right people where to get, the right places to get data, right places to get information. So stakeholder, simply put, this is an individual or group of people or an organization who may affect or be affected or perceive itself to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project or a program. Or simply put, anybody that the initiative you are on will affect. So if it's going to affect them indirectly, directly, these are your stakeholders. And as a BA, you want to carry all your stakeholders along in what you are doing. We have internal stakeholders, we have external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders could be your colleague, the employee, the C-suite, the management team, the leadership team, end user within the organization. The external, you have your clients, your customers, you have your shareholders, you have your suppliers or vendors, you have the government, you have the community. You have so many, could also be, but depends on the projects you are working on. And breaking down it from the government, depending as well, this could just be the regulatory body. And when you talk about that, you are not going to be asking them questions. You just need to get to know what are the regulations. So you go with them when you want to elicit, or let me say you are considering them in your proposed solution. So if it is regulatory body, you are not going to be asking CBN some questions. They give the law or the regulation, so you is to comply. So while you are working on your solution, you must put into consideration those regulations. So the project participants, they also have project-related roles. and duties that are separated from their professional responsibilities. That is very key because you'll be working with people in your project as your project team. You have your project manager. Okay, let me just quickly throw this to us. Can you just drop in the chat box the project team member that you know or that you have ever worked with? I just want us to drop it. I've mentioned one now, the project manager. So as a BA, you'll be working alongside with project manager. So drop your own based on your experience. If you have worked in a project, drop it. And if you have not worked in a project, maybe study or wherever you get the information. Let's share knowledge together. Yes, project coordinator, the IT, the end user, product owner, the developers, development team, the solution architect, functional and technical consultants, tester, developers, yes, vendors, implementation subject matter experts, quality assurance, scrum master, cost management, QA team, data analyst. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, we have a lot of people we work together, the finance team, the HR team, supply chain, implementation team. We have people that you work together in a project. Now, when you talk about subject matter experts, it is not kind of a title like, oh, as a BA, I would not say I am a, or let's say, oh, this person is the manager, and that now makes the person subject matter expert. No, it is not like that. It is actually based on that person's knowledge. Maybe that person has been working in that particular field, handling that process, understand it from end to end. That person becomes our subject matter expert. Like the example I put in this slide, a retail salesperson could be a subject matter expert when we are carrying out a retail sales project, because this person understands the end to end of this process. Okay, we're successful. Nai, please. You have something to say? Okay, unmute yourself and quickly go ahead. Oh, you didn't raise up your hand. I can see your hands up.
Yeah, so it was a mistake.
All right, no problem. It does happen like that at times. Okay. So these stakeholders, you must consider them whenever you are working in any project. You must understand your stakeholder. We have the internal and the external, like I said. Okay, now talking about stakeholder management, I break it into 4 phases, which is also very common. But one thing with this field is this space is that it is not just like, oh, it must always be this way. People, everything is moving fast, and people work with different things that is very comfortable with them. But talking about stakeholder management, number 1, you need to identify your stakeholders. Number 2, you analyze your stakeholders. 3, you plan how you are going to be, how you will engage them. Then the last one, you engage them. You know, planning and doing, they are different. So you plan how you want to engage them, but now you will do that engagement. So identify, analyze, engage, plan and engage. So the first one is understand, who are my stakeholders? How do you identify your stakeholders? These are techniques of identifying your stakeholders. Can somebody tell me what are the techniques to identify your stakeholder? Okay, somebody was trying to capture the live. Yeah, the video will be available. If you want to capture it, I gave you. Okay. Oyinlo Ismail, yeah, you can tell us, how do you identify your stakeholder? Techniques for identifying stakeholders.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, one of the techniques of identifying the stakeholder is to look at the organization charts. To see the chart. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome, excellent. Okay, let's have Adiola.
Yes, sorry, beyond looking at the organizational chart, I think one of the major thing it's under planning and scoping. Under planning is we understanding whom our stakeholders is. Planning speaks to boundaries. Boundaries in the sense that probably there's a name department, maybe probably logistics or procurement that needs revamping their processes. Yes, one of the things you have to do is to probably speak to your line manager to actually understand, okay, which department am I probably working hard? Who are my stakeholders? I understand stakeholders to perhaps be the people working, doing the routine services like I mentioned, in the logistics department, for instance, people who actually do the day-to-day activities in that particular
So in
department.
summary, what will you call that process, that activities you are doing with your line manager? One word.
What we like scoping.
You know, when you call your line manager, you are asking that person question like, oh, who are the people I've been working with? Who are this and that? And he or she is responding, and you are jotting it, you are writing it down.
Well, I would say
in the frame of business analysis techniques.
Okay.
Interviewing. It's interviewing.
No, will I call it interviewing
when you ask
or will
question
I?
and they answer you, what will you call it?
I probably term it interaction, because for me it's my line manager. So, but
when
if I am
when you are talking about techniques in business analysis, have you gone through BABOK before? The business analysis.
No.
Okay.
No.
We have about 50 there. And you know why I'm trying to mention this is because when you are talking with a hiring manager in an interview, they want you to be touching all of those things. They will ask you that kind of question. Which techniques do you use to identify your stakeholder? So they want the keyword, then you can elaborate on it. So interaction is not part of the techniques, rather interview is part of the technique.
Okay, sir. That's fine.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful contribution. I love that. Okay, Adewale, quickly.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Very well.
Okay, so for me, I think one of the methods of identifying stakeholders when you are brought into a project is consulting with the project manager. You could also consult with the project sponsor to identify the stakeholders that will be engaged while working on that project. And also, you could also do document analysis to identify similar projects that have been done in that line, understanding the stakeholders that were engaged on that project. And also, during your document analysis, you'll be able to carry out your risk matrix to understand the stakeholders that will be responsible, the ones that will be accountable, the ones that will be consulted, and the ones that will be informed.
You kill them. He has even gone to the next phase. Also, thank you. Thank you. Okay, next person, Palm Dan. Sorry if I didn't pronounce it correctly. Okay, you have the mic. I'm done. You there?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the ways we identify stakeholders is through objectives and goals of the user story. Okay.
Okay.
So you talked about interview. Another way is by observation. Observation can be passive and active. All right.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Adirogba, you can unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Actually, someone mentioned one of the things that I would have loved to say, but in addition, I just want to mention that interviewing may not necessarily be the line manager. Neither are we going to look at focusing on only the documents, because sometimes documents may not capture every stakeholder. From experience, I found out that sometimes our documents in projects limit the stakeholders that are supposed to be on a particular project. So I feel that after looking at the document or probably interviewing in some case, like the one mentioned, the line manager, we might have to still go ahead and interview individual stakeholders that have been identified. So this can now help us to identify other stakeholders that have been silent, either in past projects or knowledge store or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's allow iPhone. iPhone, unmute yourself. iPhone, are you there? No. Actually mentioned something about that document analysis. I used to, anybody that knows me and I would ever talk, I used to warn about that. It's good, it's a good technique, but be careful. Most documents, they are outdated and nobody update them. It happens to me. When I was first hired, I checked their document, I was like, what? No. I'm going to make sure I update all this documentation. I'm not sure if I successfully did 3 before leaving that project. Because by the time you get into the job, you might be overwhelming. So when you are carrying out document analysis, be careful and make sure that you can, something you should go further in your investigation beyond that. Okay. iPhone is not talking. Adeola, please.
No, sir.
Oh, sorry. Please unmute yourself, Adeola.
Hello, I think I mistakenly.
Okay, raise your hand. Okay.
Oh yes, thank you, sir.
No problem.
So sorry about that.
Wemi, you can have you have the mic.
Okay, yeah. So how to identify stakeholder? I would say you need to know who is affected by the project, directly or indirectly. It might be your customer, like the end user, and also you ask questions. So in that way, you know who is the stakeholder. So keep asking questions and you get to know the stakeholder. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Chidima.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Good evening. I think another way to identify stakeholders is also through brainstorming sections and maybe interviews. Through brainstorming, all the areas of the project will be seen, who will be impacted and who will be affected as well. And the stakeholders in each section is easily identified. And also through interview with the different stakeholders, both the external and internal stakeholders, also give you an idea of who are all the stakeholders that will be impacted in that particular project. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, the last person, Adewale. Adewale.
Okay. Good afternoon. For me, I think stakeholders are the set of people or group of people that sets business value for a particular solution or a project.
Yeah.
Business value.
Okay. So, sorry, 1 minute. Talking about identifying your stakeholder, we've mentioned, in fact, we've exhausted all the techniques, and that is very, very important. That is very, very, very good that we understand how to do this. Like I said, when we're talking in an interview, it's good that you use all those terminology. Am I sharing my screen? Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. So it's good for us to use those terminologies when we're talking in an interview. That, oh, we conducted brainstorming session, use interview, organizational charts, document analysis, even requirements elicitation workshop, focus group. All this could help us when we are identifying our stakeholders. Okay. So after you identify them, this one is very key. You analyze them. Somebody was talking the other time and talk about it actually mentioned RACI or RACI matrix, depending on how you put it, RACI. So R, who is responsible? When you identify them, you want to analyze them. And we have ways of analyzing our stakeholders. Like what I put on the slide here, this is a systematic way to analyze stakeholders by their power and their interests. You have some of these stakeholders that they have that power, or some people call it influence within the organization, and some that have interest in it. For example, your project sponsor, which most of the time will be like kind of either the most senior person in that particular business line. Let's say, for instance, now, I am working with a digital transformation team, and we have a executive director who happen to be the sponsor of that project. That person can actually say that we should stop working. So powerful. She can say, no, we're not going on with this project, or no, we want this project we want to change the direction. And again, that person have 100% interest, because the initiative is going to help our department. So she has both interest and influence, or we call it power. So you want to know your stakeholders that, oh, does this person really have interest in this project, and how powerful is this person? I used to use one example jokingly. For example, now, maybe like a director of finance or minister of finance, and which is going to be the one to sign the budget, approve the payments and all of that. They may not have interest in what you are doing per se, but they are very powerful. So there is this 4 quadrants that we use to place these 4 people. We have people with a high power, low power, and on the interest side, we have people with low power, low interest, and high interest. So when you break it down, I was actually looking for, I want to share this with us. I have it, but I didn't put it on this slide, but let me bring it up here. So it's like this, but I'm not going to be talking much about it. So the people with a high power and low interest, you keep them satisfied. Those with high power and high interest, you manage them closely. You do everything for them. Like everything you have inside this 4 quadrants, you must do for them. Low power and low interest, you just monitor them, like pass information, communicate the general one, not anything too special. You got it. Then the low power and high interest, you keep them informed, especially like the people that is working directly with that, handling that process directly. For example, if it's like in the banking and you want to do something with a banking solution, the teller, they may not have power, but they have interest, because that will make life easier for them. Imagine when they were working on ATM. Imagine how the teller people in the bank will be so happy, because you are going to reduce that stress from their head. So they will have interest, high interest. But when it comes to power, they don't have much. But you as a BA, you know how and when how to manage them and how to work with them. So we use this one. And the other one is RACI matrix, like I said, like somebody mentioned already, that who is responsible? Who is responsible? That is for R. Who is, somebody help me type it in the chat. Who is accountable? For every task, you want to break it down. Who is responsible? Who is accountable? Who is to be consulted? And who is to be informed? RACI. So you need to know all of this while you are doing your stakeholder management. So that's how you analyze your stakeholders. Thank you very much. I love this class. Then next, you plan. How are you going to manage them? And when you are planning, you need to document it so that you're able to execute whatever your plan is. So how do you want to manage your stakeholder? You must understand your stakeholder. Know their behavior. Again, now we're working in the world that is remote. I have, if you are not in Canada, you may not understand this. In this country, I think we have a 6 time zone, right? Or is it 5 time zone? So the next province to you, don't be surprised. you are not in the same time zone. And that's happened to me a lot. So I have stakeholders that were working on the mountains time zone, those from Pacific, those from Central, I'm in the Central, those from the Eastern and also Atlantic. You must consider them. Currently now, this is 158 where I am. People from Pacific will be what? That is 2 hours behind us, right? With 12:58. So when we want to plan our meeting, like booking our meeting, our engagement and all of that, I must understand all these people. So I don't just put a time like for everybody, 8 o'clock would be like the ideal time or 9 o'clock for meeting, right? But if I have somebody that maybe the project manager is from Atlantic, 2 hours ahead of me that I'm at the Central, and again, 4 hours ahead of somebody that's working from Pacific. If you put it 8 o'clock, that person will be 4 a.m. I will be 6 a.m. So I'm just using that as an example. When you are planning your engagement with your stakeholders, consider their location, consider the time. It's very, very important. Consider the location, consider the time. And again, I talk about the character. Number one, when you are doing analysis, you already understand, is this person interested in this thing? Then again, you want to know, how do you communicate with them? How do you communicate with them? Don't assume. My own direct line manager told me, Olu, if you send me email, I may not respond 72 hours. But you want to get hold of me, chat with me on Teams. So even if I need to send him an email, I will start him. Hi, I will tell him, I already sent you one message. Please, can you check it out? And the same thing with my current project sponsor. You tell me, don't waste your time sending me emails. I may not check it for 3 days. So what am I trying to say? Just understand how you communicate with them. Some of them want you to be, send it on email. Some want you just call me direct or chat with me and I will respond. So you plan it. How do you want to meet with them? How frequent, how often do you want the meeting? Then where do you want us to meet? Want it remote, hybrid, or we have to be together? Though if you are working with stakeholders or team that are geographically dispersed, you can't be working at the same location, but you must also agree on that. And when you put all this, you plan it, you document it, share it with them. Please carry your stakeholder along for each time you are doing anything. Share it with them, even when you have any interaction with them and you document it, please share it with them so that they can tell you, maybe you didn't understand what they say. Then the last one is you engage them. Make sure that you are engaging your stakeholder, especially according to how you have analyzed them and placed them. Communicate with them. Those that need to be informed, inform them. Those that you must carry along in everything you do, please go ahead and do that. And by doing that, you will easily and always get their support. You just get the buy-in. In talking about using waterfall that was popular before, for each document, we want them to approve, sign off. But now that we are more of agile, we still need that buy-in from them, which, you get the response, not like signing anything on any paper, but from whatever collaborative tools we are using, they are carrying them along. So For today, this is where I am going to stop. This is not part of my slide. This one is just like a kind of for people that maybe you are planning to move into business analysis and you are looking like, how should I go? How do I go about it? I just put this one there. You'll need to learn the basic of business. You develop behavioral skills, what we call soft skills. You work on your soft skills. I mentioned that from the beginning of this. Learn business analysis processes and techniques. You can learn it, you can self-learn, you can join free opportunity of advantage of this type of program, or you even do a kind of paid training. Step 4, learn the BA tools. We use tools. I've mentioned the basic office tool like Microsoft Suite, like Google Suite, but we do use some other tools like project management tools, talking about Jira, Confluence for documentation, MS Visio, Lucidchart for diagramming tools, Balsamiq for wireframe, so many. And by God's grace, in this training, we're going to be touching some of these that we will need to learn. I'm going to be teaching us, and I will give you assignments, but I may not give you, I'm not going to be attending to your assignment one by one, except for my people. Everybody are my people, but you have inner caucus. So those inner caucus, I will give you feedback, but we always share it here. So for everybody to see if you did it well or not. Then get involved in business analysis activities. Some people look for internship, some people, if you have the opportunity, just get it. You can join the local chapter of your of IIBA in your wherever you are living. If you are a student, you get it free. Step 6, participate in professional groups. Yeah, like now we have a WhatsApp group. We will be dropping some things, participate, drop your own idea. And that is one thing I open up in this training today. I want people to drop, talk. Nobody knows it all. Nobody is an island of knowledge. We learn from each other and we gain from ourselves. And last one, you may want to get certified. Certification, it's there to market you. When recruiters are going through your profile on LinkedIn, and they see that certification, you see they will always be knocking at your door. But if you don't have what to say and you have certification, they will just knock and pass you by. But that is why you need to know it. Get the knowledge and go out there and shine. Thank you, everybody. Do you have any question? Can someone share the WhatsApp link? Yeah. Okay, let me drop it here as well. So any question quickly before we call it a day? I am going to also share Success Career Hub, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram link. We will appreciate if you can follow us. We do drop some valuable information there. Okay, I see people raising up their hand. So let me quickly, let's start from Bolanle. Please unmute yourself, Bolanle.
Okay, sir, thanks a lot for the opportunity. Please, I would like to know the difference between requirements gathering and requirement elicitation. Because you mentioned that we should convince the stakeholders to buy into our solution, then would get into the requirement elicitation. So I just want to understand that particular process well as the difference between requirements gathering and requirement elicitation. Thank you, sir. I really enjoyed the. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so who will help us with that? Difference between requirements gathering and requirements elicitation. We have BAs in the house. Let's go. Let's help Bolanle understand the difference between requirement gathering and elicitation. If you want to answer that question, I want to give you that opportunity first. You can just type inside the chat box so that we know you want to answer the question. Before I give others an opportunity to answer their question. Who want to answer the question now? I can see plenty handle, but I want people that want to answer first before we ask question. Okay, Beshi want to ask, right? Okay, let me see. Where did you raise your hand? It's like I need to stop sharing. So many things just popping up and down. Beshi did not raise up his hand now. Am I saying? What? I think it's almost the same elicitation and this.
Sorry, so Limon raised up his hand and said he wants to answer.
You want to answer? Okay. Can you please unmute him?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Generally in business analysis, we tend to say business gathering and business elicitation. Sorry, requirement gathering and requirement elicitation. I think requirement elicitation seems to be the right word, because with eliciting, you are actually asking an open-ended question. You are not just asking, do you want me to build a car for you? If you say, like I feel, if you said, do you want me to build a car for you? That to me might be requirement gathering. But when you're saying, do you want me to build a car for you? You said yes. What kind of car are you looking for? What color are you looking for? What are the specifications? You keep asking that question. Even if you check the English definition of elicitation, it's more of a probing. It's not something that is ready-made that you're just gathering or picking up. Yeah, it's more of asking open-ended probing questions. So I think a better word to use is that elicitation. That's what I know about it.
Thank you very much. Yeah. And I will encourage you, when you are answering interview, use elicitation, don't use gathering. They may write gathering in their job description. They may be using it. You be using elicitation so that they will know you are a professional. Let me allow Lara to talk. Unmute yourself,
Okay.
Lara.
Yeah. Hello everyone again. So this particular question actually came up in one of my interviews, and it was, thank God I had practiced and I was able to answer it correctly. And as the last speaker said, requirements gathering, according to IIBA and also other online sources, will tell you that gathering is like, okay, the requirements actually do exist, and you're trying to put it together. You're trying to bring everything together to understand the true situation. Okay, I'm talking to each and every stakeholder. Now, elicitation means that it doesn't even exist. Maybe, so an example is, we want to build a new software that has never been introduced into the architecture of our organization. How do you gather, how do you elicit requirements? You have to go and find each person's need and how that new software will fit into the overall architecture of the organization. So it's unknown, it's open-ended, requirements gathering even exists inside. So I would say, and to your point, I would agree with you that elicitation is, I would say, a more fancy word to use, and it does help to project you that you know what you are saying. So yeah, and I'll say thank you very much for this training. It's extremely insightful. On the chat, somebody said I'm a guru already, but gurus we have to hone our skills, and we have to continue to be better at what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lara. I love your contribution. Okay, Erin also wants to talk about on that. After Erin, I will begin to ask questions. So Erin.
Hi. Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that even though elicitation may be the best word to use, but I think that gathering also is applicable in elicitation, because gathering implies that the information is already available. So you can easily, just like, picking something that you see on the table. So it's there already. Maybe it's in documents, it's in the policies, it's in the, maybe organizational documentation or whatever. You can easily get it out, or maybe even from the people themselves, it's easy for them to give you those answers. You can gather it, but elicitation means you're actually drawing it out, because sometimes stakeholders do not even understand exactly what the solution is. And sometimes it now depends on the BA and how he's able to frame the questions, or the approach that is going to take to get out that information that would now even help them even understand it better and even know how to answer those questions. So that is how elicitation works. You are drawing it out. Both of you are rubbing minds, might even include brainstorming to actually get out that answer. So that's where elicitation comes. But gathering is that, okay, yeah, it's available. I can easily find it. So both of them actually are useful, in elicitation. So that's my contribution.
Thank you. Excellent. Wonderful. Okay, let's quickly allow Temitope. You want to ask a question? Unmute yourself, Temitope Korede Williams.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask a question regarding the tools that you mentioned, like
Okay.
Jira and Confluence. So, how in-depth is our learning going to be into those tools? And do we have to pay for it, or how is that going to be like?
Okay. Oh, we don't have to, number one, you don't have to pay for it. And like I said, I would look at the number of people we have here. So I won't be able to walk you through one by one. So the way it's going to be you were able to log in from your own system, because just go to Jira and you will sign up for free, either with your Google account or you create account, and just watch the process. But one thing I will tell you, it's very easy to use. Again, what you will be introduced to will be similar to, in case when you get job and they are using it in your organization, it will be the same thing, but every organization, they customize it to their needs. So, but if you can get a hold of the basic, I'm telling you, you should be comfortable. What's important mostly is what you are going to put on that Jira. If I teach you how to use Jira and you don't know how to write user stories and acceptance criteria, what's the essence? So we are going to be touching all of those as well. So Jira, for me, the way I tell people, Jira is just, if you know how to use Microsoft Word, yeah. So, but just that you are going to know where to press, and when it's open, you type there what to do next, and you will see all the buttons there, what you need to touch, what you need to do. You see there. It also has automation. So I will walk us through it, but the important thing is to know what are the things you are putting on it. We use it for project management. So mostly in an agile environment. So talking about our user stories, which represent our requirements. So we have it there. You can attach documents. Tasks can be assigned to people. So from the product owner to the business analyst, the team as well, whereby you give it to, they assign it to the developer. If there is any, the tester, when they are working on it, they identify any bug, they will also raise tickets for that. They raise issue on that. Everything could be done on Jira. So we might not really be go to that, deep down, but it's something that I believe we should be able to learn from. Then you can take it further, and so many resources out there whereby you can still learn more to brush your knowledge. So, and a Confluence is a documentation tool, or the same company knows it, Atlassian. So you can connect both tools and if we work together. Okay. Sulaiman, you have the floor.
Yeah, I think for the Jira, when I had my experience with it, like you rightly said, you can register for it for free. I think that's going to be for about 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. However, what we did when I was trying to get my hands dirty, we did is we actually came together. I think we're about 20 or thereabouts. We paid for subscription, and it's very, very cheap. So if anybody's looking to get hands-on on it, can probably put ourselves in groups and just go ahead and do the purchase. Then you can have it for, I think, about 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. I think that would be better if you'll be most likely working in an agile environment.
Very, very well, very well, very well. Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very good point. If it's something you want to learn and go further, like I tell you, it's good. You spend money. I spend money a lot to learn most of the things I know today. So it's good. Somebody talking about similar to Visio as well as very easy to use. No, Visio is different from Jira. Visio is a diagramming tool. Although most of these tools now, they're having a lot of features, they are building lots of capabilities in it. Opening my Zoom recently, I started seeing a lot of things, different apps pop up, and which means that they are integrated now, instead of me to go and open that particular app. So they are improving on their tools as well. But Visio is basically, for process mapping, flow chart, and all of that. You can use it as well, do your use case diagram. So Confluence is similar to SharePoint or documentation. Yes, but Confluence, SharePoint, you can create a lot of channel, create a lot of folder, depending on different teams and different projects you are working on. But you can put your documentation, everything on it, and link it to your Jira. So when you click on the link in Jira, it will take you to where you actually have the big documents. All right. Okay. Yeah, you can use draw.io, you can use Creately, you can use Lucidchart, you can use Figma. In fact, Mura and Miro, they now have that drawing functionality. But those, when I learned those, they were basically for collaboration, Mura and Miro. But now you can draw process map and do a lot of things on them. Okay, Joy, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much for the class. I heard someone mention about Visio being incorporated into some Microsoft subscription accounts, and I wanted to know, does it come with individual?
You can subscribe for it alone.
Okay, has the subscription.
Sorry?
The different subscription.
Yes.
Okay.
So you can just like if you are using Microsoft 365 and now you want to add Visio, I think it's something you can do.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome. Yeah, I want to really appreciate everyone for coming, for attending this class, and I love the knowledge we share. I believe this is something that is very valuable for us, and I want us to keep on pushing it. Next week, we're meeting the same time. We're using the same link, but I'll be updating the link. However, between now and next week, please, if you have anything, any idea, drop it on the WhatsApp group. Let's share thoughts, let's share words. I'm also looking at if I can create another, work on another tool where we can use to collaborate, where we can save documents that people that are joining newly, they don't need, they can easily find whatever we have shared in the past. So I will see within this week to do that one, see how it goes. And if you are looking to transition into business analysis, feel free. You can see people that are talking here. Reach out to them. I know we have a lot of BAs in this place. Reach out to them, get advice. Again, you need mentors. You need mentors. So, you need mentors. It's very, very important. So thank you everybody for coming. Oh, Sulaiman want to talk. Sorry. Let me allow you to talk before we go. Okay.
I only want to say, talking about Visio, I don't know if anybody is interested in Visio. When I was doing my training too, I had someone that could get it for you, a licensed one. It will get it installed on your system. But I've not spoken to him to know if you'll be interested to do it for everybody. If anybody is interested, if you say to me, then I can ask him if he's interested, and both of you can connect and you can have it installed on your system.
So how do we get your contact?
Yeah, I'm also on WhatsApp. Anybody, just reach out on the WhatsApp group if I see any about
any message like that. Okay.
If he's interested, then I'll connect both of them together.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. You see, this is why I like having community like this, whereby you can help each other. For those of you that are in Canada, please let's connect. Remotely, we can connect. If you are working, yeah, we can be of help to each other. And those in Nigeria, yeah, feel free to connect with us. If you are planning to come to Nigeria as well, to come to Canada, I'm telling you, this is a very, very, very good opportunity for you. Take advantage of this, learn, keep learning, and keep learning. I will drop our Success Career Hub social media handles there. Please follow us, our Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our Facebook page. You can follow us. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. It's still afternoon here, so enjoy the rest of the day. If it is Nigeria, I know it's already late night, so enjoy your sleep. And vote wisely, Niger. Yeah. So Lara, you can buzz me. Okay. Yeah, plenty. Please network. Networking is very important. So it's very good. Network. It opens that opportunity a lot. So let's keep networking, connect with each other, and let's see how we can keep supporting each other. You